can't become her while avoiding responsibility. We have to stop blaming the timing, the people, the circumstances. We have to take accountability for our own decisions. And that's what we're going to do today. What's up, ladies, and welcome back to another episode of Her Clarity Space. I'm your girl, Jess, and as you already know, we are in the middle of the Before You Become series. So we're going to go ahead and kick it off with our next topic. Today, we're going to talk about something that most of us women don't like to face, and that is accountability. Accountability is so important because that is something that is necessary when it comes to growth. That is something that is necessary when it comes to healing. Because one of our biggest obstacles when it comes to life is we try to force other people to change. We try to convince other people to become who we believe is their best selves. And in doing that, we end up changing ourselves. We make ourselves become a person or a version of ourselves that we never intended to become. And for that, you have to take accountability. Regardless of how wrong a person did you, regardless of how much they did not reciprocate the love and energy that you gave them, every time you chose to stay, every time you chose to continue to pour into a situation or a relationship that you knew was not healthy for you, even though you feel as though your intentions were genuine and you were doing it out of love, you still have to take accountability for the decisions that you have made. And so I want to start out with taking accountability for the decisions that you've made that have negatively impacted you. And I don't mean this in a way for you to beat yourself up. I mean this in a way for you to take ownership. Because when you take ownership, it empowers you to believe that you actually are in control. And when you believe that you're in control, you then believe that you have the power to change not only where your life is going, but what your life is today. So I want you to take a moment and just reflect every negative thought you've ever had, every time that you didn't keep your promise to yourself, every time that you did something that negatively impacted you. A lot of times we make decisions in our lives and we don't necessarily know how it may impact another person. But majority of the time, we know when it's going to negatively impact us. But we convince ourselves that whatever that experience or that relationship is, we convince ourselves that it's worth the pain. It's worth the fight. And that's one of the biggest reasons why you have to take accountability, because usually you're not going into these situations blind. I hear a lot of women say sometimes when men cheat and, you have your girl talk and you're just asking, did you see any red flags? And majority of the time, the red flags were there before you even committed yourself to forget marriage or anything like that. Before you guys even became boyfriend and girlfriend, the red flags were there. But you continued with the relationship. You knew what was awaiting you on the other side. Now, you may not have known the details, but you knew that this would be a relationship that came with a lot of high heels, that came with a lot of pain, that came with a lot of disappointment. You knew these things. The relationship that came with betrayal before you even committed yourself to this person. This person didn't even know how to be your friend. And you opened your heart to them. You gave your body to them. Some of you committed yourselves to them before God. And some of you gave life for them. Put your life on the line to bring another life into this world. But you knew You may not have known exactly how bad it would be, but you knew that there was nothing quite good waiting for you on the other side. But you felt like it was worth it. And usually when we go into these situations and we feel like we can handle it, we're built for this, love will win, all of those things that we tell ourselves, we get on the other side of it and we realize it was all a lie. Majority of us struggle with trying to make people fit into our puzzle that never were supposed to be a part of our puzzle. You know how you're doing a puzzle and it's like you're down to those last few pieces, but you can't quite figure out which piece goes where. You flip it this way, you flip it that way, and they're just not fitting. So you just force it to fit because it's like it's this last piece. For a lot of us, relationships are that last piece. Because we've become such independent women, a lot of us don't have any problems with making money. A lot of us don't have any problems with going on trips. We don't have any problems with self-care. We don't have any problems with enjoying time with family. We struggle with love. Love is our final piece. And we just want to finish the puzzle. And sometimes we allow ourselves to feel and get so desperate that we'll force a piece into a space that does not fit. And when you do that, that one piece can ruin your whole puzzle, which is what typically happens. And I don't want you to beat yourself up. I've been there, done that. Beating yourself up is not going to do anything for you but send you down a downward spiral. I want you to take ownership. I want you to say, you know what? I did that. I did feel like it was worth it. I now know that it's not. And I now know that I will pay attention to red flags. I now know that I won't just act on passion or fireworks and my flesh, what my flesh is telling me what to do. I will take a moment. I will pray about it. I'll journal about it. I'll consult someone about it, whether it's a friend that I trust, a parent, your therapist, whomever it may be. I will take my time with myself. I will handle myself with care. Because you can be fragile sometimes, especially when you are in a desperate state. You can be very fragile. So promise from this moment forward that you will handle yourself with care and take accountability for every decision that you've ever made. Every decision you've ever made that has negatively impacted you spiritually, you mentally, you emotionally, hell, sometimes financially. And once you take that accountability, I want you to forgive yourself for it and mean it. Now I want to talk about the things that we have done that have negatively impacted others. This can be a touchy situation because a lot of women love to paint themselves as being the victim, and we know sometimes you are playing Harley Quinn. Yeah, they may have guided you down that railroad, but you chose to stay on it. You chose to see it through. You chose to stick with it. I used to watch this TV show. Some of you may have seen it before. I used to watch this show that was called For My Man. Oh, it is the most heartbreaking, sad show I've ever seen. Because it reveals just how far women are willing to go for their man. And sometimes they're doing things that the man didn't even ask for. And then when you do these things in the name of love, you don't care who you hurt. You don't care who you sacrifice, who you trample over. You do not care because you're just so focused on getting what you want. Sometimes it's an innocent bystander. Sometimes it's the person that you claim that you love. Sometimes you hurt the person that you claim that you love because you are so focused on getting what you want. I was thinking about something, and I was thinking about, love languages and how people feel like, you want to be loved the way that you want to be loved. You want to be cared for the way you want to be cared for. And this is a pattern that I've seen with women, including myself. When we think of reciprocity in relationships, when you're talking about how a person wants to be loved and cared for, in our minds, the way we process is reciprocity means in a relationship that the way that I want to be loved is how I should be able to love you back. So if I like to do cutesy things and I like to go on dates and I like foot rubs, I'm going to give you the same. And even if you're not into that, you better damn well enjoy it because I'm giving you the same treatment that you're giving me. Instead of focusing on what that person wants. Reciprocity is saying, hey, I'm going to give you what you give me what I need and I'm giving you what you need, not giving you what I want you to have. And because of that, a lot of women, I'm so sorry, I don't mean to beat you up right now, but a lot of women do the bait and switch because you know what the men desire, but you just want to change their minds so bad. And I know we think it's cute, we think it's funny, but you're literally manipulating someone. And if we think of how we felt when we've been manipulated in situations, when we've been manipulated in love, when we felt like, hell, when we're just dating and we feel like it's going somewhere and the person leads you on and making you feel like they actually want something serious with you when they don't. Imagine how a man feels when you pretend to be this woman that you feel like he's going to love, the woman that he says that he wants. You pretend to be this role, and then you get in the role and you completely change. You completely change. And not only do you completely change, you gaslight him for addressing the issue. And then you want to force him to accept what you want to give him. Sometimes we could be so blinded by our own wants that we don't mind hurting other people to get it. And once again, sometimes those people that we hurt are the people that we claim to love. And I say claim to love because a lot of us don't really know what love means. Love literally is, I can't even put it into words. A lot of people try to define love, and I don't think love is a sentence. Love is your action. Love is your words. Love is your presence. Love is you. There's so many things that are encompassed in love, but I don't want to get distracted with that because I could talk about love all day. I do want to get back to the fact that you have to take accountability for the moments that you felt so desperate to get the things that you wanted, that you were willing to sacrifice, manipulate, lie, and use other people for your own self-gain. And you told yourself that you just wanted to be happy. And I get it. I think we all just want to be happy. And I think that we are just not willing to do the work to get that happiness from the places where it's meant for us to get it. Because some of us want that happiness to look a certain kind of way. Some of us want our person that we're meant to spend the rest of our lives with to look a certain way, to dress a certain way, to be a certain way. And instead of you actually putting in the time and the energy to really do the work and put yourself out there and invest in yourself so that you can make sure that you attract the person for you, you'll just grab somebody, pretend to be somebody else, bait and switch them, and get them into this relationship and say, hey, here. I know that I told you that I'm serving you surf and turf with mashed potatoes and broccoli, but all I have for you is a bologna sandwich. You're going to like it. That's what you're doing. So I want you to take accountability for the pain that you have inflicted onto others, because it's necessary in order for you to grow. If you truly want to be better, if you truly want to get to the next level, you have to be willing to take accountability for the things that you have done to others. Because if not, you're going to find yourself continuing the same toxic cycle. So don't be afraid to do the work. And before I say the last thing, I want you to think long and hard about where your life is today. We're nearing the end of January. Some people have made New Year's resolutions. Some people have been keeping up with those New Year's resolutions. Or I won't say most, a lot of people have fallen off and said the hell with those New Year's resolutions. And I want you to just think about the person that you are today. And I always want you to give yourself a round of applause for the progress that you've made. But I also want you to think about, with that progress, have you become stagnant in the space that you're in? Have you become too comfortable in the space that you're in? Do you enjoy the space that you're in? What are some habits that you're doing that is holding you back in the space that you're in? This next part is going to be about taking accountability for the things that you're continuing to do that are holding yourself back. If you're having trouble thinking of things, I can think of some easy things that I'm currently struggling with. Allowing my emotions to determine how productive I be. That's something that still holds me back. I will allow myself to get so mentally exhausted, and I'll say, I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm not going to prep my food. I won't do things that don't even require me to really mentally be there. I mean, do you have to be mentally there to go to the gym and just walk on the treadmill? Do you have to be mentally there to go in the kitchen and fix something that you've made 1,000 times? No, you do not, but it's a lie that I tell myself. And that is something that is holding me back. That is something that is keeping me from becoming her. My procrastination issues. That's something that's keeping me from becoming her. Me telling myself that I work well under pressure just for me to continue to procrastinate. That is something that I am currently dealing with. I'm currently working on, and it is an uphill battle because those are habits that I've had with me for so long. But I'm taking accountability for them because that's the only way I'm going to change them. You wonder why you keep repeating cycles, but you can't fix issues that you don't want to acknowledge are issues. So, in order for you to be able to grow past those habits, in order for you to be able to heal through those habits, you have to take accountability for the things that you're continuing to do to hold yourself back. I was listening to a podcast today, Full Transparency Podcast. Shout out to Dunny Wiggins. And she said something that really stuck with me. She said, Being loyal to the person that you were is betrayal to the person that you want to become. Being loyal to the person that you were is betrayal to the person that you want to become. Isn't that crazy? And it's so true. Some of us want to move to the next level so badly, but we don't want to let things go. But you have to. And it's okay to be afraid. It's normal to be afraid, but we still have to be willing to do the work. We still have to move. I hope you guys have found this episode very, very beneficial as much as I did. This episode really even helped me. And if you enjoy conversations like this, make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button now. And also, every Sunday, I send out clarity notes. It is just a letter from me to you, just giving you some words of encouragement as you head into the new week. If that sounds like something you're also interested in, make sure you sign up for the newsletter, link down below. Until next time, be kind to yourself, trust yourself, and love yourself.